Hi guys, Big John here. Thanks for joining me for another video. Thank you for pressing view, I really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind taking another 2 seconds before we start just to go down the bottom and click the subscribe button, that'd be absolutely fantastic. So here I am. I've just arrived at the site for my camp tonight. As you may have noticed in the last video, I've set myself a New Year's resolution of getting out and camping at least once a month this year. So this is February. I'm at a site I've never been to before. In Yerbeston, which is not far from where I live. It's a new site. Some people have acquired some woodland and they're opening it up to wild campers. They've set up a company called Merlin's Bushcraft in Yerbeston. So I'm going to try it out tonight, see what it's like. Hopefully it'll be good, and it's a site that I can use in the future as well, so I'm not just in the one place that I normally go in my friend's woods. I've got somewhere else I can go as well to have a little bit of a change. So I'll take you down with me. It's 4:45 now. Still got a bit of light, but hopefully we can get down there, get cracking before it gets dark, and get ourselves all settled. Okay, so just walking into the woods now. Just met the guy who's running the site. He's had a good chat with him actually. He's looking to open the place up to scouts and big groups and stuff, as well as sort of individual campers like myself. Seems to have a lot of good ideas, so I hope we go, manage to get it done and everything and do a good job of it. So yeah, just walking in now, having a little look around, a little scout around for a good site. Haven't got a lot of light left. It's, what time is it? 5:10. So yeah, I haven't got a lot of light left, so I'm not going to be trying to do anything too fancy with shelter and all that. I'm going to find a nice spot, just throw it up, and we'll go from there. As you can see, a lot of this area is still quite wild and thick with brambles. They have been clearing it a little bit, but I say a lot of it's still quite wild and very, very pretty. You can hear some birds around. Still quite close to the road. You can hear a bit of traffic. I'm hoping it'll die down a bit towards the evening. Okay, so I've been walking for about 10 minutes, having a look around, looking for a suitable site to camp. This is the first sort of decent site that I've come across. Ground's nice and level, it's nice and hard. There's no deadfall above me, there's no widowmakers. Can't feel too much wind coming through here. It's nice and sheltered. As I say, a lot of the place is still quite overgrown at the moment. But the only problem is there's a big stagnant pond there. I don't really want to be camping next to that, get a few bugs and everything in the night. So yeah, so I'm gonna carry on, see if we can find another site. So I found another site which I think would be quite good. It's relatively level, again no widowmakers. I'm sheltered all around because, as I say, it's still quite wild back here as well. The only thing that's stopping me from staying here is I would like to be a bit closer to a usable water source. I have got some water with me, but I'd like to be able to get a bit more if I need to. So I think what I'm going to do, given that I've got here late in the day, as I say, the sunlight is getting away from me, I think I'm going to head back towards where I started, because there's a few more open level areas to camp on, and it's closer to the water source as well. So yeah, so I think we're going to head back over that way. Okay, so gone back to where I started pretty much. I think I found my spot. It's relatively level. It's clear as well up above. There's no widowmakers. I'm pretty close to the water source. It's a 5-minute walk down that way to the stream. There's plenty of firewood around as well that I've had my eye out as I've been walking around. There's quite a bit in this sort of area here behind me, and over there as well. So I'm not worried about getting a fire started. I am a little bit closer to the road than I'd like, but given that it's a 10-acre plot of land, you're going to be able to hear the traffic anyway wherever you are. So yeah, so I'm gonna go and get myself a few lengths of wood now, because I want to try and make a freestanding plow point shelter. So yeah, so I'm going to go and source myself some posts while I've still got a bit of light. If I don't manage to do it in time, then I have got trees all around me that I can just string it up to as well if I need to. So here we go. So finally managed to get the fire going. Took me a little while, which I thought it would, to be honest with you, which is why I didn't record it. Although it's dry at the moment, and the last day or so has been dry. We've had a bit of rain recently, so everything's a little bit wet. And the area I'm in, there's not a lot of dead standing. There's a lot of branches on the ground, and there's a lot of branches like these which have been cut away as the place has been cleared, but obviously they've only recently been cut, so they haven't dried out yet. But I did have a bit of luck. I managed to find a bit of dead standing oak, with a couple of branches coming off it, so I cut some of that off, and that's what's burning now. So hopefully that'll go for a little while now. It's a good solid, I mean I struggle to saw through it, to be honest with you. So it's nice and dense, so hopefully now that it's caught, it'll burn down well. It'll give me some good coals to boil some water to cook my dinner later, and it'll keep me warm as well, because it's starting to get a bit chilly now. Just to let you know how I got the fire going, I had a bit of birch bark, but what I did as well is I made, out of some of the drier pieces of wood I had, I made a couple of feather sticks, and just some shavings, and I got everything prepped, because I knew I was going to struggle with it. Got everything prepped, so had a couple of pieces of wood as a little baseboard, just to keep the cold and the moisture from the floor away from the fire. Then I put my birch bark on, put a couple of the shavings on top of the curls on top, ready to go, and had my pencil lead thickness twigs on the side ready to go. Lit it up, put it straight on top, and just basically put everything on top to give the fire somewhere to go. I didn't put it, didn't smash it down, so I didn't smother it, but yeah, it gave the fire somewhere to go. I spent a lot of time wafting it with my little pad, get some oxygen in there, get it burning. But yeah, as I say, it's going now, nice and warm. Get some coals, and then we'll make a bit of food later. Okay, so fire's going now. It's not big high flames, but there's some nice hot coals there. So I've got my water on. You can see it there. So I've got my pan on the fire over the coals. It's only been on for a couple of minutes, but it won't take long now. It'll be on the boil. And then for dinner we have some golden vegetable rice. Yummy, yummy, nice and healthy. And I've also got some pepperonis in the bag as well, so I might cut up a few of them and chuck them in as well, just for a bit of extra flavour. Good times. Okay, it sounds like we've got a bit of a boil, so we're just going to check it. Always be careful, guys. Use your gloves. Oh yes, we've got a nice little boil going on there. What we'll do is we'll take that off. I'm going to tip a little bit away, because, well, no, we'll leave it in there for now. Pour the rice in. I think it's probably a wise idea for me to mention that this is another first what I'm doing here for me tonight. I've never actually cooked rice like this before. Normally what I do is I bring sort of pasta with me. I bring super noodles, things like that. And you don't need to sort of boil them. You can just add hot water to the bag and let them steep. But with this rice now, it needs to actually boil a little bit. So put it back on the fire. Lid on. And we'll give the fire a little bit of a liven up. And I'll go in again, get it back to the boil. Cook that rice. Beautiful. So we've got a nice rolling boil there. Oh, that is looking lovely. As predicted, we've put a bit too much water in there, but that's alright, because once I've had the rice I can just drink it as a nice broth. A nice broth. Everybody loves a good broth. Nice and hearty, keep me nice and warm in the cold. Well, I suppose it's end of winter evening. Because it's only, well, it's the middle of February now. So it is still technically winter time, but it's starting to ease off a little bit. Everything's starting to warm up slightly. So yeah, a nice warm broth will help with that. There you go. Give it a try, see what it's like. Really nice, actually. I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to, as I say, get my pepperami, slice some of that up in it, and enjoy that. That's in focus. And added some pepperami to my rice, like I said. Gives it a nice little kick. Really enjoying that. But I've finished cooking my food, so I don't need to feed the fire now. You know, I'm quite happy for the warmth that's coming off it, but I don't need it for the warmth to sleep tonight. I've got my sleeping bag. It goes down to about -15. I don't think it's supposed to be anywhere near that tonight. So I don't need the fire for the warmth, so I'm not going to feed it anymore. As I say, only needed it to boil my water to cook my dinner. It was a bit of a chore getting it going. Not a lot of good firewood around here, but I managed to find a bit and make do. I got it going in the end, which I was very happy with, actually, because it's the sort of thing, fire making. I always wonder about my skills with regards to fire making, because I tend to go to the same place, so I know what's around, I know what burns, I know what doesn't. So it's nice to come somewhere new and actually be able to source the materials I need and be able to get the fire going, and be able to cook from it. So yeah, so I'm very happy with that. So I'm going to sit now, watch that burn out, read my book, eat my dinner, just relax. Probably have a relatively early night. It's time is it? It's 8:15. Still relatively early, but I'm quite tired. I didn't sleep very well last night, so I'll probably drop off quite early tonight, I think. Morning, guys. It's about 8:25 in the morning. I've just woken up to the lovely sound of birds chirping, and a couple of cars going past. Yeah, didn't sleep too bad last night. Woke up a few times. Had a nice lie in this morning, which was nice. Normally I'm in a bit of a rush to get up and get out, but I got a couple of hours now. I can take my time. I can have a bit of something to eat and get everything packed up before I got to go. Not planning on cooking breakfast this morning. I've got some granola bars and stuff, so I'm just going to take my time and just relax, and just pack everything up slowly. Okay, so just wanted to give you a quick look at my camp and my shelter setup in the light of day. So obviously setting it up last night, the sun went down, so couldn't really see what was happening. Shelter I set up is it's a freestanding plough point. So you've got one corner of the tarp is tied up to the top there, one corner is pegged down at the back, and then obviously peg the two sides in like that to make the plough point. Originally I wanted to just rest the tarp on top of this ridge pole, but I didn't cut the ridge pole long enough. So next time I come now, it's something I can work on, make it a bit longer. And all I've done to make it freestanding is I've just made this very simple tripod. 2 cross pieces, lashed them together using can't remember the name of the knot now, but I'll find the name and I'll put a little note up there to say what knot it was. So nice and simple lashing on there, and then just put the ridge beam, the ridge pole across the top there. I haven't tied it down, as you can see it moves about freely, but the option is there if you want to make it extra secure. Then obviously you can tie the ridge pole to cross pieces. And what I've done as well in the back, go up and show you, is again, because my tarp wasn't resting on the ridge pole, I needed to create some more headroom. So I've just taken a line, tied it to the tie-up point in the middle of the tarp, just tied it to the tree, pulled it back, so it's just lifted that bit up to give me a bit more headroom inside. Made life a bit easier. And then that could come. As you can see, one of the great advantages with this setup, because I've got these cross pieces here and I haven't got a string right in front of me, I can get up and out of the shelter quite easily. There's nothing really blocking my way. It also means I can have my fire right in front of my shelter as well, because there's no strings or guy lines or posts or anything straight up in front of it that it's going to burn, which means that, you know, I don't have to wander away from my shelter when I'm cooking, when I'm boiling water or anything like that. It's all right there in front of me. So what I'm going to do now, I've packed some of my stuff away. I'm going to have my breakfast now. I've got a couple of granola bars, so I'm going to have those, and then I'm going to pack everything else away. This fire now, I'll dispose of the ashes properly and cover everything back over so nobody will even notice that I've been here. I just wanted to take 2 seconds to quickly talk about the importance of bringing a sleeping pad or a mat with you when you come camping. I've got a little inflatable sleeping mat or sleeping pad that I'm sitting on now, and that's where I slept on last night, and I was really nice and warm. But there was a couple of times that I rolled over and my hip or my leg landed on the floor, and it actually woke me up because the ground was that cold that it sucked the heat straight out of my leg. So I think it's very important to remember, if you're a first time camper, haven't got a lot of experience, when you're planning on going out, make sure you take some sort of sleeping pad or inflatable pad or something just to keep you off the ground and keep you warm. It's the sort of thing, I know it's a simple thing, but it's the sort of thing that could be the difference between, I know this is extreme, but it could be the difference between life or death. You know, if you're sleeping on the ground and the ground here is freezing, even now, as I say, where the day has started, it is warmer outside, but the ground is still freezing cold, and it'll take that heat off you before you even know it. So always remember, bring some sort of sleeping pad or inflatable pad, keep yourself warm in the night. I'm really enjoying my breakfast today. This is the first time in a while that I've been able to come camping and I haven't got to be out early in the morning. It's 9:10 now. I've packed half of my stuff away, Got a few other things to put together, but that won't take me long. Just finishing my breakfast now, and I've still got. I'm going to be home for about another 2 hours. I only live about 10 minutes down the road. It's really nice just to sit here and just listen to the birds and listen to the wind rustling through the trees. It's beautiful. It's very relaxing, very calming, and I recommend it to anybody. It'll cure, well, most of your ills. But yeah, I'm just sitting, as I'm sitting eating my breakfast, I'm just sort of contemplating my trip so far, sort of last night, and things that went well, things that didn't go quite so well. Obviously the shelter went up really easily, but next time we'll make this ridge pole a bit longer. The fire, because I was concentrating on setting up this shelter last night, and it was the first time I'd ever done it, I did neglect my firewood duties, and because of that I almost paid the price. I was having to collect firewood in the dark, and the pieces that I was finding, they weren't really the best for a fire. I did manage to find some oak, some dead standing oak from a huge oak tree that had fallen, which once I got it going, burnt really well and burnt hot. But next time I come, I'll make sure that I take enough time to go and collect plenty of firewood, and because I've had a little walk around now in the daylight, and there's quite a lot of dead standing that would be very, very good for the fire. But the problem I had last night, as I said, this place has been newly cleared, a lot of it, so I'm picking up pieces that that have been cut down fairly recently, so they look like they'd be good firewood, but the reality is they're still not dry enough to burn properly. So but like I say, never make the same mistake twice. I'll rectify that next time I come. What is it they say? You never fail, you just learn. So we'll consider that a learning curve. Okay, so I've packed everything away now. I'm a little bit disappointed. I did want to do a little video of packing everything away, just to show you everything going, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Took down the tarp, folded everything up. The biggest thing I wanted to show you was my bedroll, which is my bivvy bag. Inside that I've got my sleeping bag and my sleeping mat. That all rolls up together and attaches to the back of my rucksack. Everything else then has got its own little bag. It's all compartmentalised. It's got its own place in the rucksack as well, so I know exactly where it is when I need it. So yeah, so that's all that was. Last job I got to do now before I head off is dispose of the fire properly, because obviously we don't want to be leaving a big footprint on the land. We want to leave it sort of as we found it, so it looks like we've not even actually been here. So, what we'll do, we'll pour some water over the ash just to make sure it's all out. Put it all together. That's all out properly. And then what we'll do is we'll just cover it all back over with all the moss and the leaf litter that we kicked off when we arrived last night. Back over. It's as if we've never even been here. Hi guys, I'm back at the car now. It didn't take me very long to get here. I wasn't camped that far away from where I parked. Had a very enjoyable evening and a nice relaxed morning as well, which is nice. Definitely be coming back here again, so thank you very much to the guys at Merlin's Bushcraft. Check them out, they are on Facebook. You can come down, book and come and have a camp yourself. Thank you very much for clicking view. Really appreciate it. It means a lot to me that people actually watch what I put out there. If you want to see me doing anything in particular or want to ask any questions about anything I've done or anything like that, please feel free to leave a comment down the bottom. Also, if you wouldn't mind taking 2 seconds and clicking subscribe if you haven't already done it, I'd really appreciate it. I think I'm up to about 22 at the moment, which is not a lot, I know, but it is creeping up, and you know, I'd like to, my next milestone is 30, so if you guys could help me with that, I'd be really, really thankful. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.